All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Abby, and together with Soko, we are the leads of the Localization Subproject group. So this is our monthly meeting that happens the first Monday of every month to talk about localization initiatives and to collaborate on just the different things the teams are working on within each localization. And as a reminder, this meeting is being recorded. So if you don't want to be recorded and then part of the recording that will be published to YouTube, make sure to turn your cameras off. And I see Soko just posted the meeting notes for our agenda today in the chat if you want to take a look at that. And we are also a part of the CNCF. So that means this meeting, we adhere to the CNCF Code of Conduct Guidelines, which essentially boils down to being kind and compassionate to each other as we go through our agenda and as we communicate with each other on video and in chat, and also through Slacks and all forms of ways we get in touch with each other. And with that, I think we can get started. I'm not sure if I said the date, but today is March 3rd. And let me see if I can share my screen with the meeting agenda notes. Okay, my Zoom. Me and Zoom do not seem to be getting along today, but let's see if I can bring up the notes. Okay.
Yeah, before we start, since there are newcomers, so we can introduce ourselves.
Yes, thank you. Please take some time to introduce yourself if you are new to our meeting.
Anton, could you
Am I new?
introduce yourself? and
Okay.
and
Yeah.
why you are here?
Yeah, I'm Anton. I'm 22. I am from Berlin, so native German and pretty fluent in English, I would say. And I am using Kubernetes for personal and work. And I also contribute to Gopher Cloud, which is an OpenStack SDK written in Go. Few years back, and then I wrote an operator there, and yeah, we at work we basically deploy everything with Kubernetes, and we still have some services running on Docker Compose, but we're migrating that as well. And I joined the Slack community, I think 1 or 2 years ago, and noticed that someone was asking for new localization help, especially Germans. So that's why I'm here, I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks.
Yes. Hello everyone. I'm Ken. Everyone can call me K. I'm from Vietnam. I'm based on Hanoi, and I'm a maintainer of a CNCF project named by SIG. It's a sandbox and also organized at the Cloud Native Hanoi. And I'm a CNCF ambassador from last year. That's all. Thank you.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, does anyone else wanna any new folks here want to introduce themselves?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Nice to meet you. So, my name is Ian. So, and I was a Korean localization contributor on Kubernetes by about 2 years ago. At the time that I was changing my new job, so I couldn't have enough time. But now, yeah, I wanna come back to more contribute because in Korean language there had been lots of changes and there are many old contents. So yeah, I want to contribute to urge ask for more reviews and buy contents like that. So and I was a OpenStack internationalization project team lead about 7 to 8 years ago, and now the OpenStack team is uh, now I18 team in OpenStack is just a special interest group, so I'm also leading special interested group in OpenStack. Nice to meet you.
Awesome.
Nice
It's great to
nice
see
to
so many
meet
new
you.
folks. Yes, nice meeting you.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, personally, I know him, and he's very nice contributor, and hope he can come back soon and be active more with me. Good to see you, Adam.
Thank you.
awesome. Anyone else? Not sure if we had folks join. Okay. Okay, I guess we can get started with our agenda. But if you do want to say hello in the chat, feel free to do that. Yeah, so our first item is the update to our owner's alias, which is a process that we do annually to try to make sure that we have an updated list of reviewers and approvers for within our SIG docs group. And it looks like this has been merged and updated. So thank you for everyone who reached out about that. I assume that's why many folks are here today, because I know Soko has done a lot of outreach within the Slack channels to get folks highlight the places where we might need to have some help for reviewers and maintainers. So Soko, did you have anything you wanted to add on this issue being merged? Or this PR being merged?
No, it is to share the current status of this annual update, and it has been merged. And following result, we have some localization teams which have few maintainers. So the next item is about how to manage that kind of risk in several localization teams.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So I guess we can dive right in. Anton, I mentioned you were here. You mentioned you were here from the German localization team. Looks like there's only one approver that's active. And I guess we're looking for ideas on how to get more folks into the project. Is that a correct summary, Soko or Anton? If you want to talk about what you want to talk about for the German localization team.
I think so.
Okay.
It was basically the post, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you are right now, Anton, you are someone who is not on their approval list, but you would like to be considered to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Have I guess have you worked through the process of becoming part of the org initially? I know there is that whole process to become a member, like or get org membership, and then we can get you in the past we've done a little more like an expedited process, I would say, to get folks onto the reviewers list a little bit easier than or quicker than it would be to be on maybe the English approver list, because there is a shortage of folks who are able to contribute. So if that is something you're interested in, I think we can probably do that by as long as you have org status to begin with.
Yeah. I think Soko said that I first have to do
Okay.
some PRs and some contributions, and then I can be considered. But as you like, I mean, we can also do it faster.
Yeah, I think there is a need to become an org member and to show that you are like, invested and engaged member of the community and have a good understanding of the processes. Having some PRs opened will help show that you are, engaged and willing to continue to do your contributions. So yeah, I think that would be a good way just to learn, just because we have a way of getting people into the right positions so that we can carry forward the localization efforts. But we still want to make sure that you feel supported and able to help other people who submit PRs to review. So being able for us to see that you have opened gone through the PR process and have some knowledge of our SIG docs processes. Let me probably try to send out some links, which I'm sure, Soko, I'm sure I haven't been as good about checking up on Slack messages. So I'm sure Soko has probably mentioned all these things before. But yeah, if you are interested and you have time to open up some PRs, that would be a great first step to get you into the org so that we can add you as a reviewer.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing would be what to work on. I think when Benedict shared a doc on where to get started or what the process is, there were already 2 mistakes. So I told him about it and he merged it. But I just don't know where to find something that needs to be translated or fixed. I can read through the docs and fix everything that I see, but I don't know if that's the point.
That's a great question.
Yeah, usually it depends on team's suggestion or guidelines. For instance, some teams made some priority for the for localizing document. So maybe there are some priority list for the localization or other guidelines. So I'm not currently sure because there is only one approval currently in German localization, and I'm not sure we can say it is currently a team. So I think having few approval is not good enough to rebuild the team. I think somehow people who are interested in the German localization need to meet and discuss how to rebuild the team and how to make sustainable activities. I think that's the important part.
Okay.
So, but here, Anton, you are newcomer, right? So
Yeah.
I would like to suggest to gather some newcomers and who are interested in this activity and have a meeting to discuss how to rebuild the team. I hope Benedict can be included, but based on current reaction from him, I'm not sure he can currently lead the team. So I think you are most interested people currently. So why don't you try to rebuild a team? It is just
Okay.
my suggestion.
Okay.
And as I introduced Noah, I'm Noah. He is actually got my request for help from the Cloud Native Glossary project, and he is German, and he is also very capable of rebuilding teams and maintaining teams. So he I'm sure he can be your help. So
Okay.
please try to rebuild first.
I think my question was mainly like if you have new pages or new chapters that you publish in English, how are we gonna know that that happened? Like, is there a page on what's not translated yet, or is everything translated into German?
Right. So the way most localization teams start is through looking through this page here on localization teams, and we have a minimum content required for a localization to launch. So I'm not sure if you're taking a look at this page, but this would give you some places to look for pages that we consider within SIG docs to be high priority. So if you can compare the pages there that you have already in the German localization and pages. If there's been any updates to the English page, that might be a place to start on pages to kind of prioritize looking at to see if there need to be updated reviews versus just looking for random updates across the site. And then Soko, I'm not sure if you had were you putting together a way to kind of tell what pages needed to be updated, like a script to run or A way for
Yeah,
folks to see what pages have been
there is
updated?
open PR, but not merged yet.
Okay.
Yeah, the tool is to check the outdated content based on the updated date difference. But maybe Anton, you can check the which contents are not translated. You can just check the website directory. In website, there is content directory, and inside
Yeah.
there's EN for English and DE for German. If you see the file difference, if you in DE directory, if there is no associated document with English, and it means
Okay.
it is not translated yet. So maybe you can open up issue that to declare you wanna work on this translation, and then you can go to the PR part.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, so it's all within the website content DE folder. And then I'm not sure if there was any oh, what am I doing? Sorry. We also have languages filters for each. I'm not sure if you've checked these out, but there might be some issues. Maybe there isn't issues. That might be places to start things people have already filed. I'm not sure if you've checked any of these resources out, but this might be a place to kind of see
Yeah, I see.
what people have already called out as needed work to be done on.
Anton, also, do you have any other, do you know any other community that can help this kind of localization contribution in
If I know anyone
helping?
that might help as well, not really.
None really. Okay,
But
that's fine.
if I find someone, I'll let him know.
Sure.
I also think we could probably put together an announcement to make in the broader SIG Docs meeting, because that has a wider audience, and possibly send out an email or something to the SIG Docs group, because that's got lots of people in the community who get on that email. I'm not sure about doing any additional like I just don't know the process for getting outreach to the broader channels, like for any of the social media posting or like the Kubernetes dev email address. But that might be something we want to look into if we're not being able to find people in more smaller circles, I guess. Like Anton, you said you didn't really know anybody, but maybe the rest of the glossary folks. I know that's a really big project that Soko's involved in, so maybe I'm not sure what your guidelines are for asking for people to also contribute to other projects within the glossary project. But maybe we can kind of just do some posting in other places to get some eyes and hopefully some interest to come in. And if there is an upcoming KubeCon, right? Is that next month? I'm not sure of the dates. Wait, it should be up here. Yeah, so maybe that's a place that we can kind of try to get people in an announcement or do a meetup that way. I'm not sure if anyone's able to attend this, but if you are going, maybe you could reach out and see if there'll be people folks who would be interested in contributing that you could kind of meet up with at that event. It's not always easy to get to conferences, I understand that, but it could be an avenue for you to kind of build build a community
I have
that
to
way.
see.
Anton,
Okay, got it.
just one question. So, are some conversations or threads or discussions active on Kubernetes Docs DE Slack channel? So I'm just curious because I'm not a member on the Slack channel. for German, but I just want to ask how the discussions or for the localization status is whether active or not on this Slack channel. So let me put down the Slack channel on the chat window.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm already in there.
Yeah, and then it'll be great if you can share your thoughts on any. If you ask anything on this lecture, I strongly believe that other Germans would like to help or engage some discussions. Hope that it helps to leverage more localization in German language.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, the discussion is based on a thread in that channel. So thank you for sharing, but also I'm unaware of that message in that channel. Thank you.
Yeah, I will say that the building community piece is probably one of the hardest and most continuous pieces for like keeping the localization alive and making sure to find people who have time to contribute. So it is not easy. So I definitely totally understand there that it can be a lot of work to find folks, but they do exist. And so it's sort of the two phases of trying to find other folks to help you with this work, and then also finding pages that you feel like you can make an impact and want to make improvements to as you go through your own localization journey, because I know you're just starting out. I think for in terms of, like, I think Soko mentioned this, creating issues of the work that you'd like to see done for the localization team, I think it's completely valid. If you and or there's a very small group, you can kind of just start an issue of what you think needs to be done and just put it out there and talk about it here, and then post a message about it in the Slack, and then go forward with that work as much as you want to as much as you are able to, and then it might also help people kind of guidance, like how you're saying it's hard to find what work to work on, but if you sort of pick an avenue that you want to go into and put it in an issue, and then you can find other people and you'll have a place to where they can help also help do the work, because it can be very intimidating, which is maybe what you're seeing now, to kind of get into a place, but you're not sure where to start or who to talk to about it. So if you're able to create any issues or things that you'd like to see done or things that you've noticed about the German localization itself, I would say just create an issue and kind of move forward with what you want to do to the best of your ability. And then once hopefully people will start seeing that and want to join in. And then you can kind of build out, set up a team meeting. We are able to set up Zooms for you if you want to set up like an official Zoom meeting, or you can meet however you want to meet best to kind of continue that work and have a place to start from. Like I said, starting is sometimes the hardest place to be at. So I would just say use what we have kind of talked about a little bit today, and definitely reach out in the Slack too if you have more questions. But if there is an area that you feel particularly able to contribute in within the docs, I would say start there, and then you can kind of just grow from there.
Thanks.
Okay. Cool. Did you have anything else you wanted to chat about for specifically the German team, or any other questions we can help you with?
Not really. If I have, I'll send it on Slack, I think.
Awesome. Okay, so next on the list is the Vietnamese localization. So I'm not sure, Soko, if you want to kind of talk about that, or okay, if you wanted to chime in.
Sure. In case of Vietnamese localization, the team is also facing a risk that there is only one approval remained. So I asked how the team will have a plan to overcome the risk. So current approval, Nguyen nominated Khan, K, who participated this meeting, and as reviewer and core maintainer, and also get some help got some help from Vietnam community as well as some Hanoi community. So I guess Khan here can share the team's plan for Vietnam localization. So please, Khan.
Yeah, thank you. Basically, there is, common problem when some old friend just left before we have the new maintainer. So currently only Nguyen is the only approver and active member of the V organization, localization, and I'm talked to him. And basically, we found the gap between the requirement from the community, the new dev, and especially junior dev is willing to understand more about the project and willing to contribution, but we cannot find any official um, training or official activity to commit to the project, and they lost the motivation. So as a community organizer, start planning some output oriented activity for the community. Basically, our idea is first making the contribution as the part of the monthly meetup of the Hanoi community meeting, and start from there. We will find uh, some folks who are willing to commit the most and actually making some output. So from there, we will build a smaller group of some folks that actually commit to the documentation. So that was a plan to have more maintainer for the Vietnamese localization. And also, Nguyen is not attending here, but he said that we want more, mentoring for the activity that I said before. And currently, he do not have enough efforts and have enough resource to make this. So he nominated me to be the reviewer at least of the Vietnamese localization, to share the workload with him for this one. So I think Seiko just
Yes, okay.
just mentioned in the Slack that there is what can I say, a rule to be a reviewer and to be an approver, and it's step by step thing. But actually, we maybe have some way to shorten the path by making this a part of what can I say, team rebuilding efforts. So maybe based on that rule, could you think about nominating me to be the member or reviewer so that I can share the workload with you who basically do not have enough resources for now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your team's plan, and it looks good to me. Also, thank you for bringing new communities collaborations here. That's very nice, and I think that's a way to make this kind of contribution activity sustainable. Regarding your request about the nomination for the reviewer and approval, we have some rules in becoming member, reviewer, and approver. But for instance, we need more than 5 PRs should be merged to become member, but it is not too strict. We can count your team's activity. If that activity is real thing and countable, then we can nominate, and it can be sponsor for you and your team. So please start rebuilding the team and discuss how to make the team and contributions sustainable.
Okay, so I think the first action for me is basically make enough file pull queries to at least pass the requirement, right? I think I have one or two already, so I will start from there, and I will ask Chung to speed up that process. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And that can be also practice for you and for your teams regarding the 5 PRs.
Okay.
Without the experience to the contribution to our repository, maintaining is far more difficult thing, right? So just try to add more PRs, important PRs, as well as please try to give some effort to rebuilding the team itself. That will also can be counted.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just to reiterate what Soko was saying there, I pulled up the guidelines for how to for org membership. So we can help you get the requirements for being an org member are pretty clear and defined. Like we can't sort of work around those. Like we need to be able to see and show your involvement within the community beforehand. And then once we get that membership there, we can add you then right away into the reviewers and approvers list. But like I said, this is something that the whole project controls, so we can't really go around that per se. But like the point is to show that you are engaged in the community. So it's not that you have to create like some monumental PR or anything. Like it's just showing that you are willing to contribute. And they have some good examples here of what they are, what can count and what you can kind of throw in on when you do file for membership by creating an issue within the repo. Putting together a KIP, putting together a couple of PRs, working on filing issues, and contributing within the sub-project and the group, and just being active within the community is what they really want to see before you can, for for applying for membership. So it's not like it needs to be multi-page, huge PRs, but it's just showing that you are committed and involved in the area that you're focusing on. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just want to ask a question about this one. I already on China of the CNCF projects, so what can I say is not can be count here, right? I mean basically has to be project under the Kubernetes organization, not CNCF organization, right?
Yeah, I think it is preferred that it is something under the umbrella of the Kubernetes project in some area. Yeah, I think you just have to be a part doing it under the Kubernetes area. But you can also mention that you're involved. Like I don't think it would hurt you to say that you're also a member of other communities within the CNCF, but we also have to see that you are active within the Kubernetes community and hit the requirements that are listed here. So.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any way to fastly check this something missing so that I can have a better preparation for passing this requirement? I mean, it's hard to just pick up 1 and 2. And so if we have any way to fast checking, then it's gonna be really help, I guess.
As
I'm
to
not sure.
checking whether you are member already or not.
I mean, checking whether I'm pass the requirement or not for the whole stuff here. I mean, to get that. No?
You are eligible for becoming the member. You wanna
Yes,
check,
yes,
is there any way to check?
yes.
There's no any program to check. You can just
So
see,
I have to
yeah,
open the issue and manually picking, right? Okay.
right. You can just check the checklist whether you are eligible or not. Maybe you
Okay.
can try to open issue and see what is the checklist.
Okay. Thank you. I got
Okay.
that.
Yes, and like I think Soko had mentioned here, he added these in. We can be some of your sponsors, which is another step of once you are ready to open an issue, it's going to ask you for sponsorship for your org membership, and you can tag us for reviewers and approver to be a approver and you know +1 your request to be added there. Yes. Did you have any more questions around getting org membership access? I know that they've done work in the past year to kind of loosen some of the restrictions on it so that outside of it's not just straight PRs, it's also just work in the community. So being involved in Slack, being involved in discussions, being involved in issues and all that type of stuff can be counted. So it's a little bit easier to get, you know, up to the 5 required things list, but it is something that we just have to see. And when you open an issue, I tried to open up in GitHub, but it was asking me to authenticate again, which is just like annoying. But it'll show a checklist of all the requirements. You can just check off that you have done those, so you can see where you're at. There isn't, yeah, like I said, like Soko said, there's not a way to programmatically do it. But hopefully just looking at it as a checklist will help figure out what you have done. Anyone have any other questions on getting org membership or how to go through that whole process?
For me, then yeah, I'm not asking the process. On the other hand, then I want to come back as a reviewer and approver for Korean language. So I already requested two pull requests. One is for Kubernetes website, and the other is ORG. But those two reviews are still pending for more than 1 month. So I just want to better understand how I can ask for reviews or for those two pull requests. I wrote down my links on the below on update reminders because this is just for reminder for asking for pull requests reviews.
Oh.
Let me share it to the chatting.
Yeah, thank you, Sako, for mentioning for Korean localization. Another reviews. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
For example, we are just pinging to the reviewers on the right side.
Okay.
Is a good idea, or then any kind of process to send some reminders to ask for reviews. That's my question.
Oh yeah. So I think if it's been a while and then you'd like to sort of ping people, you can tag them in the issue again, or you can reach out in the main SIG docs channel. That would probably be helpful just to raise it to people's attention. For the most part, try to just reach out in the open channels to kind of get reviews so that maybe another reviewer might be able to approve you as well. If the people who are specifically tagged on on the reviewer list, they might not have time, but if you reach out in a general channel that you're looking for reviews on certain PRs, somebody else might be able to pick it up. Yeah.
Thanks
Does
a
that make
lot.
sense?
Yeah, yes, yeah, that
Okay.
should be make sense. Yeah, thanks a lot, Erica. Yeah, thanks, Abby.
Okay, awesome. Where were we? Okay, becoming a maintainer. And then I see a note here from Tim, and this is about Katakoda removal. So this was a project where we removed Katakoda from all of our from all of our tutorials, but that also leads a long tail of making sure it gets removed from our tutorials within all the localization projects. So if this is something you think your team still needs, so it looks like there's a big list of people still need to do it. So Anton, this is maybe an area you can kind of start by creating a PR to kind of do this and do this work. And I think this should probably describe a little bit more about what that work would entail. But if that's something that interests you, please take a look at it. And then I'm sure, what did Tim say? If not, get help. And I'm sure if you comment on the issue or you also reach out in the SIG Doc Slack, if you have questions, Tim will probably be very responsive to answer your questions on how to move that project forward. Did anyone have questions on that issue? I can kind of move on. Awesome. The next is to starting up a new localization effort for the Farsi localization project. Looks like there was a Slack conversation. We don't actually, yeah, sorry, Soko, if you
Yeah,
can.
I already shared this
Okay.
initiatives from those two localization, tentative localizations. So it is just to repeat, there's interest in initiating new localization for Parsi and Telugu. So people who are watching this meeting as video recording and interested in those two localization initiation, and you can contact to the people listed here and the Slack channel link and utilize. That's all.
Yes, and I think I'm going to try to attend the next SIG Docs meeting so that we can also talk about put a broader call out for people to contribute to the languages, these languages, and any other languages, and just also see if there are any other activities that we can do as a SIG to do outreach. So it's not just on all individual contributors within the localization project, and see if there's things we could do at a broader level to kind of raise awareness that there's more, there is a need. So like I mentioned, if there's any social posting we can do, or reaching out through the broader emailing lists to kind of send out requests for contributors, so it's not just all on individual folks, to find people to come into the project. So I'm not sure, those meetings happen every other Tuesday, and I have to check my calendar to see if there's one happening tomorrow, but they happen at 10:30 Pacific time, which is maybe not always the best time zone for everybody on this call. But I'm going to try to attend that an upcoming meeting, and hopefully get a little more awareness there. So this is the end of our agenda. But if anyone had any other questions or topics they want to talk about, just please reach out if there's anything you want to talk about. Okay. This was really awesome. I'm thankful for everyone who was able to attend. Hopefully, we provided some good tips on how to get started within your localization efforts. As always, we're available on Slack in between meetings. Our next meeting is, let me look up what the calendar is. It should be April 7th. So if you, hopefully you all are available to come back and chat more. But yes, in the meantime, please reach out on Slack in the localization channel, or if you have broader questions also within SIGDocs, there are lots of people in there who'll be willing to help if you have any more questions. So me stop my sharing. And yeah, I mean, like I said, this is the end of our agenda. So thank you for attending. And I'll see you on Slacks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.